Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome in once again. Today we're going to take a look at something completely new. Number one, an item from a maker that I've never showcased on my channel before. And number two, a brand new model from that maker. As a matter of fact, this is a prototype. So I'm sure one or two tiny little, adjustments or changes could be made before they go to production. But you will be seeing something fresh and new that's inside this box. Also, this little guy right here, which I'll talk about later on in the video. It's not really a part of this overview, but he does make this. I thought it was wicked cool. I enjoy having this, so I do want to make sure that gets a little bit of time. But what we're going to be looking at here is a new knife from Grissom Knife and Tool. The gentleman's name is Frank Grissom, and this is called the Riverstone. Now, he's undecided as to exactly how the packaging is going to look, but I really dig what he's done here with the waterproof box and the laser cut foam that's inside. If you have any suggestions, or if you like this box, don't like this box, or whatever else, throw it down in the comments below, because I'm fairly certain he's going to look at the comments and see what people are saying, and he has time to make adjustments. Anyway, I like this particular box. I think it's a good way to go. A little expensive, but a good way to go. Couple of cool stickers in here. Whoa, everybody loves stickers. Alright, and inside is this chubby little bastard right here. I do like how this was laser cut. Like I said, I think it's great packaging. Let him know in the comments below. But we are going to focus on the knife. Now, this is a tiny little guy. And there are times that I really like tiny little knives and times that I don't. In this particular instance, I dig it because even though it's tiny, it's got some size to it in the other dimensions. It doesn't feel like you're holding a wimpy little knife. I've got a full grip on here. My pinky comes around this way. I'd love if it was curved out a little bit, but it feels really good in the hand. I don't feel like I'm going to lose it. The jimping is where it needs to be. It's just wide enough in the, I should say, just tall enough in the handle that it feels really, really good. Now, very clearly, it's not meant to be a hard-use knife, so you don't really have to worry about it, torquing out of your hand while you're doing some kind of crazy hard cutting. But you could if you wanted to. Now, I want to show you something neat, and this is something that, man, I wish more makers would do when we work together to bring a knife out here on my channel. I mean, all the dimensions, everything you could possibly ever want to know about this knife is right here. You can pause it. You can read it for yourself. Everything is very well thought out and laid out from the renderings. Now, what we're looking at, overall length, let's just bring it right on up here, 6.5 inches with a 2.51 inch cutting edge on that blade. Blade steel is M390, all titanium in the frame, 6AL4V titanium pivot. Right now, the back spacer screws, he told me, are stainless steel that he just blackened, but for production, they will be titanium. And he says the only thing that he may be undecided on is the pocket clip. Now, I'm going to go over my thoughts on the pocket clip when we get to it, and it would be really beneficial for him to hear your thoughts as well, since you are the target buying audience. Now, overall, I like how this is shaped. There's a nice bit of contouring. It's not just, and man, I'm seeing this. I am seeing this left and right, and it's boggling my fucking mind how people are charging $500 plus for titanium frame locks, where it is just a completely flat piece of titanium. And I've seen some that had no edge work done at all, so they're all hard edges. But I've seen some where they just barely rounded it off, or they've just done a 45-degree chamfer all the way around and called it a day. They just took flat titanium stock and slapped it together, and their pivots are proud and all their hardware is proud, and I don't get it. So even seeing a very slight contour like we're seeing here, I'm really glad to see that. That means he didn't just go the cheapest, quickest possible way to throw a knife together. He took the time to do some soft contouring and make it a little more comfortable in the hand. I really like the shape of the knife overall. Again, this is little stuff that you really will pick up more when you're holding it, but just like this little divot right here for your thumb to drop into. Most people would have just simply made that rounded, and it wouldn't have felt as good. It wouldn't have allowed the knife to fit into the hand quite as well as this one does. I like the fact that he has an exposed back spacer here with the lanyard opening. For people that don't ever use a lanyard, it doesn't take away from the look of the knife. It also makes it look a bit more complex when you have the cutaway here, the back spacer exposed in certain areas and flush at others. It looks a little bit more complex, nice aesthetics, and it works very well. Those of you that do like using a lanyard, you have a nice large loop right here, so it's gonna tie on super easy. You don't have any complaints or worries there. Now he's done a very basic stonewash on the titanium as well as the M390 steel. It does have a nice reinforced tip. I like the fact that he brought this down almost in a reverse tanto style, but not quite. You've got a little bit of belly to the blade, so you've got plenty of utility to the shape of the edge, and then you've got this coming down, reinforced tip, nice and strong. Excuse me. The jimping is fantastic. It's just bitey enough that it grabs the skin of your thumb, but you don't feel like it's tearing your ass up. Again, the little contour here really does help when you're holding the knife. The pivot is nice and clean, beautifully done. Easily adjustable from the reverse side. Does have a lock insert, so you have steel on steel engagement instead of titanium on steel, which over time titanium being softer than hardened steel is going to start wearing prematurely, whereas steel on steel contact is a lot more desirable. He's got a nice cutout here, nice relief for your thumb to disengage the lock. Lockup is good and early, but not dangerously early. Nice jimping on the flipper tab. It's going to make that super easy to deploy. And it takes almost nothing to get this thing to fly out. He is using bearings, of course. They feel great, nice and smooth. Now again, this is the prototype. He's carried it for about a month. I've carried it on and off for about three weeks now. So it might have a couple little blemishes on it. Don't judge the knife based on that. Now let's talk about the pocket clip. I love the pocket clip. There's good enough retention. He's got a nice ramp on here. I've been able to put this in and out of jeans pockets without having to pry the clip up at all. And this is the big thing for me. Notice what he's done right here. He's made a ramp and he's jimped it. That means you're able to grab this from the pocket easily. So when you're going to grab it, you're able to grab it from whatever finger you choose to bring it straight out and straight to physical deployment. You don't have one of these stupid deep carry pocket clips where you have nowhere to grab that isn't adding tension to the clip, making it harder to get out. It's still deep enough, in my opinion. You're not trying to discreetly hide a knife. Everybody sees the pocket clip, whether it's a deep carry style or not. They still see a pocket clip, so I've just never seen a reason for that. I really like all the little details, the way this has been beveled. Back spacer gets wider and then very gently tapers toward the rear. There are a lot of tiny, tiny little details like that that I really enjoy about this knife. Now, you've heard me say for many years now, especially if you're going to make a mid-tech knife, don't do all stone washed. We're tired of it. Every knife that comes out is all stone washed. I'll be honest with you, on this particular knife, I think it works. It works with the overall design of the knife. It looks very tough, looks very robust, looks very industrial. So the stone wash finish works. I still think it would be cool to see it in an all black PVD or a satin finish on the blade, or maybe a nice satin on the or bead blasted finish on the titanium. And I'm sure there are going to be plenty of options. I'm sure he's still fielding plenty of ideas. The only thing I don't like about this knife is this right here, the finger choil. It's a little small to be useful, because you'll see where my finger hits right on that sharp edge. And when your finger hits that sharp edge, well, you could get cut fairly easily. So if there was one thing I would change about this knife, that's it. And that's not really a huge nitpick if I really want to be honest. And y'all know me, I can pick pretty much anything apart to death. So overall, I like the package. I like how stout and robust it feels. I think if it was any thinner, I probably wouldn't like it as much. And I think, honestly, if he went for like, you know, a big 1/4 inch thick blade, it might have been a little bit too much, because then you're kind of defeating the purpose of having a tiny little hideaway knife. It's nice to have something lightweight, but still feel like it can do the job of a bigger knife. And there are just times I want to reach for a smaller knife. I want a smaller knife to carry in my pocket, especially in these hot Texas days when we're all wearing shorts, man. You don't want a big, giant, bulky knife. So if that finger choil was a little bit bigger, or he just hammered off the back side of that edge where it wasn't sharp all the way back, might be a little bit better for me, but that's my only criticism. I think overall everything is done right, and he's got a nice visual balance. Notice the areas that are black, the hardware that's black, the back spacer, the inner pivot, and the pocket clip. It's all well balanced. You've got a lot of this dark gray from the stonewashed titanium and steel, and just highlights of black, but everything was done with a good artist eye. I think it was, in my opinion, it was done great. Now, before we close things off, I want to talk about his alienator. I think he calls this one the Diablo, the one that has these horns. Now, for me, because I live here in Texas, and last year we made all sorts of brass knuckles and other various handheld weapons like this legal, I'm very, very happy to have this. Yes, it's cool because it's got a bottle opener. So technically, officer, it's a bottle opener. Yeah, they're not stupid. They know what the hell this is. I like this because, not that I ever think I'm really ever gonna have to use it, but if, man, you ever punch somebody in the face or the neck with these damn things, holy shit. This particular one's made of aluminum. He's using lightning strike carbon fiber that happens to have, I don't know if I can get it to glow on camera, but there is, yeah, you can't see it, but there is some glow-in-the-dark material in there as well. So just, it's an inexpensive little bauble that he sells on his website, and I think you definitely should check it out, whether you're going to be getting the knife or not. This little bastard right here is fan-freaking-tastic. I really, really enjoy this. It's also a good thing to give maybe to your female other half, your girlfriend, your wife, any woman in your life that maybe doesn't feel comfortable carrying a firearm. If they don't feel comfortable carrying a gun, please don't force them to. Maybe they don't want to carry a knife on them. They're the kind that just carries pepper spray or something on their keychain. This has the hole for your keychain, and this is a nice little, you know, last ditch, oh shit, stick them right in the temple kind of weapon. You know, you don't want to let somebody get within arm's reach, but, you know, maybe you didn't see it coming and they surprised you and they're there. This could be a nice little last-ditch, oh shit kind of weapon. I dig it. I think it's cool. Feels nice. It's well made. No visible hardware. He did a nice job overall on the whole thing. So that's my take on the Grissom knife and tool products. I think they're great. And I'm not going to tell you the price of this yet because, again, this is a prototype. He is working with Best Tech knives to make the production version. That alone should give you an idea of the price point. It's a very low price point, but I don't want to say the price point in case he makes some changes on the knife before it reaches production and it raises the price 20, 30, 50 bucks on retail. I don't want to come out and give you guys an unrealistic expectation. That's not my goal here. But I will say it is on the very affordable side. It puts you in the league of Benchmades and Spydercos and things like that. So if you're looking at this going, well, that would be a good $450 to $550 in a custom knife, absolutely would be. Going into a production knife, you would expect that to be considerably less. It is going to be a lot less than what number is in your head, I can pretty much guarantee. So I like that. I dig that. So anyway, like I said, leave comments down below if you have any comments about the design of the pocket clip, because he was curious to know how people were going to feel about that. I like that particular style. They did a great job, or he did a great job. And maybe suggest some ideas for finishes in case he has the opportunity to throw a couple new ideas into the mix. And also, tell him what you think about the packaging, or what you might want to see instead. Me, I don't give a shit. It could be a cardboard box. However, I'm not the average customer. When I open up a knife, that box goes into a big Rubbermaid bin, and it sits in a closet until the day I ever trade or sell that knife. I don't ever touch the packaging again. But it is important for me and for everyone else on that initial impression when you're first being presented with that product. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. And when you've got nice packaging that complements the product, that makes it feel as good as it is, that is important. So do keep that in mind. All right, guys, I'm out of here for now, and I'll catch you on the next video.